A lot of countries see it as a niche or even unpleasant taste.
It's
Others
not.
have a spread that is more culturally ingrained, like
Okay, Nutella is pretty good to be fair, my friends, but since I tried the American peanut butter, Skippy, Jive, Jif, whatever it is, my friends, it's so damn good. I'm gonna make a confession. This is a bit embarrassing, but recently I've been picking a spoon and eating peanut butter that way. Am I crazy? Am I alone? Look, if you are American and if you ever did that, leave me a like, because that way I will not feel alone. I love the US peanut butter. Oh boy, oh boy. Top 30 things only Americans do and think it's normal. My friends, America is a special country, but is also an amazing one. But I really wonder what those things are. So, before I go into that, let me ask you for one thing. If you can leave a like, thank you so much. Is the best way to show support. Now, if you can subscribe, well, in that case, forget about it. You make my day. Have that in consideration. Link for the original video in my description, and let's play it.
Would you please stop pointing that gun at me?
Wait, a katana.
Safe thanks to us. Here's the damn phone.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And
Hey.
today we're counting down our picks for 30 American behaviors that seem insane. to
Yes,
the
we
rest of
are.
the world.
Terrorists, your game is through. 'Cause now you have to
America.
America.
I know that one.
Number 30, expect huge portions.
Yes, and thank God for America. This is awesome.
Take as much as you want. If you want to come back for seconds, you can come back for seconds.
If
For
you're
free?
an American who's ever eaten outside the US, you might notice something weird.
Everything is smaller. Well, not everything, but most of the things are smaller in Europe.
Your plate isn't the size of a steering wheel. In the States, it's totally normal for a single entree to feed 2 people, maybe even 3.
What?
Foreign visitors are often stunned by the sheer mass of food that hits
Is
the dinner
that
table.
crazy, my
More
friends?
so when it comes with bottomless soda and a free bread basket.
This is the amount of French fries in one serving.
Wait, what? What? Wait, the ones on the plate made no sense. Yeah, this is more or less what I get when I go to McDonald's, my friends.
So that looks like maybe 4 or 5 servings of French fries.
Wait. This is for one person. No. There is no way you guys ever went to a fast food chain and you got this amount of fries. There is no way. Can someone confirm? Is this video actually putting fake news out there? No, this is too much for a person.
Fries.
A large fry in the US is about 46% bigger than the British version. American large pizzas have 31% more surface area. In America, value basically means volume.
Not only in America, that should be everywhere.
What is this?
What did you order? What is
Okay, that's disgusting.
What did you do?
Number 29, obsess over the stars and stripes.
Oh, this is about the flag, my friends, and you should be proud about the flag. Oh, you should be obsessed with the flag because, first of all, such a beautiful flag, and the second thing and the most important thing is what represents, right? I mean, one of the most beautiful flags around the world with the Portuguese one, but I love it.
I'm gonna kick some butt. I'm gonna drive a big truck. I'm gonna rule this world. I'm gonna kick some ass. I'm gonna rise up. I'm gonna kick a little ass. Rock, flag, and eagle.
Okay, let's go.
In
Hell
America,
yeah.
the flag is one part national symbol, one part branding strategy. You'll see it flying over schools, gas stations, front porches,
Awesome.
car dealerships, beer cans, and the occasional pair of boxer briefs. For many
Sorry, my friends. Actually, when I go to, I'm visiting America this year, if you are not aware, around September, October. So I was thinking, for example, in Texas, driving around some neighborhoods, how many flags do you guys think I will see if I drive for like 1 hour? Because see, if I drive 1 hour here in my country, I don't see any flag unless the national team, the soccer national team is playing. That's what we do here. But in a normal day, no special event, you don't see a Portuguese flag. But in America, this is quite different, right? No matter what is going on, I will see some.
front porches, car dealerships, beer cans, and the occasional pair of boxer briefs. For many foreigners, the sheer volume of flags feels more like propaganda than patriotism.
The flag is so
I mean, for stupid people, that may seem like propaganda. At the end of the day, my friends, sorry, now I got a bit offended by that because do you guys know how many people died for that flag? Do you guys know the memories? Oh man, my friends, the propaganda using the word propaganda for the American flag is one of the stupidest. Oh, English, my friends. I need to speak American. It's quite stupid to say that.
The sheer volume of flags feels more like propaganda than patriotism.
Disagree.
The flag is so important that its history tells the story of America itself. It symbolizes our freedom, our dignity, and the true meaning of being an American.
In the US, though, it's just Tuesday. While other countries display their flags on national holidays, Americans do it year-round. The founding fathers...
Sorry, but how is that a bad thing? For me, this type of... See, my friends, I'm not sure if Watchmojo is trying to paint a bad image about America. It's not working with me. But even the first point or something, the huge portions, how is that bad? You know, you need self-control. I understand that. But even this, how is this bad? If you are American, this is the type of stuff you should go, hell yeah.
Fathers could never have envisioned the lever of commercialization they're designing.
I envy this.
That Stars and Stripes branded gear is technically against the flag code never factors into it. In the US, the Stars and Stripes are forever.
When I see the flag, immediately I look at the stars, and the stars to me not only represent individual states, but individuals themselves.
Number 28,
Oh, that's
shop
awesome.
at Superstores.
In this one store
Superstores?
alone, that's 1,100 gallons of milk, 400.
What? Okay, that was a bit overwhelming.
In this one store alone, that's 1,100 gallons of milk,
Oh
400
my.
varieties of cheese, 250 kinds of beer, and 3/4 of a ton of beef.
No.
every day.
But this is a special store in America. If you go to a regular Walmart, you don't have this many options from what I understand. Or is this in almost Walmart, Costco, Target? Look, my friends, the other day someone ended up asking me what's my Oreo favorite flavor. I said the normal one because that's the only one I have. And the person told me, André, I tried 5 last week. I was like, there is no way. End up searching online. No, that's actually what Americans do. There is a lot of Oreos flavor. I know this is a stupid example, but shows to you how different America versus Europe are in terms of options. To be fair with Oreo, I end up finding a supermarket that has 1 or 2 different flavors, but that's it.
Countries, you pop into a store for groceries or light bulbs. You're in, you're out. In America, you can enter a superstore and emerge 3 hours later with a kayak, a 50-pound bag of dog food, and a vague sense of disorientation. Walmart...
Sorry, my friends, but since I'm coming to America this year, I want to record at least in one American supermarket. But I want to do it in the biggest one, in the one with the most options. Should I go to Walmart or Costco? I don't know for sure which one is the best. Maybe if it's a super Walmart will be better.
Target, Costco, for people unused to them.
And sorry, there is any super Walmart in Texas? Because I'm not sure if those are across the country.
A vague sense of disorientation. Walmart, Target, Costco, for people unused to them, they're less retail spaces and more retail experiences.
Step into the new town square, a coffee shop, a sushi bar, even an opera house.
Okay. Wow.
Trip for batteries can now include a food court, a pharmacy, and the temptation of a flat screen the size of a door. Foreign visitors often describe them like indoor cities. TikToks from bewildered Europeans walking the aisles are basically travel documentaries. For Americans, it's all about convenience. For everyone else, it can feel like a consumerist fever dream with free samples.
You have more opportunity to get the customer to buy something else while they're in the store.
Number 27, indulge in college sports mania.
Under the bright lights.
Actually, okay, so far this may be the one that I think only Americans think it's normal, because college sports are really not a thing here in Europe, and I don't understand why you guys prefer college sports to professional sports. I mean, probably... I can make some reasons from the top of my head. Maybe the game feels more raw or something, but it's difficult to understand this one.
And booming roar. University of Miami fans know who they're here to see.
Too much of the...
That said, to be fair, I reacted to NFL events and college football events, and I thought the environment, people had quite more fun at college football. So there is that. I kind of understand to a certain level.
world, college is a place for lectures and cheap beer. In America, it can also mean mega-sized stadiums, multi-million-dollar coaches, and ESPN coverage. American college sports are a
Wait, you guys pay millions to them?
full-blown cultural institution. People paint their faces, tailgate at 9 a.m., and schedule weddings around game time. For many foreigners, the idea of student athletes playing in packed arenas is totally bizarre.
Ready to go with the second half now. The Wolves trailing 10-0. We're told Joe Kane will be starting at quarterback.
You've got 18-year-olds performing for fan bases more intense than most pros ever face. Throw in marching bands, bowl games, and Final Four brackets, and it can seem completely out of hand. In America, higher education doesn't just mean academic achievement. It also means screaming yourself hoarse over a 19-year-old point guard.
Recruiting is like any other sales business. We've got to win to keep our jobs. We've got to fill the arena to keep our jobs. And if we don't, they fire us.
Number 26, be so loud.
Banned loud American tourists? No, because
This one, my friends, I don't mind because people also consider me a loud person here, so
loud American tourists annoy me too.
I'm loud too.
Do you think it's unfair for them to kind of categorize the Americans in such a way?
Not really.
Wherever there is an American outside of the United States, you are likely to get the same complaint. You can hear them before you see them. Whether it's in a restaurant, a museum, or a train car, Americans have a volume setting that seems permanently stuck on "I'm getting no reception on my phone."
Compared to last summer, a whopping 55% increase in U.S. tourists jamming up landmarks from Paris to London and Venice to Rome.
In the U.S., being loud is often a
Actually, not tourism, but there is a lot of people coming to Portugal from America, buying houses and stuff like that. Actually, they are putting pressure on the housing market since Americans have quite more money than us. But American immigrants here was not that popular, let's say, 10 years ago. But in the last 5-6 years, I would say I've been gaining some momentum. I assume this happens across Europe, but Portugal in particular is a really good place for Americans since it's quite cheap. The weather is amazing. I think Portuguese people are very friendly, and a lot of Portuguese people know English.
associated with confidence or friendliness. Abroad, it can come off as overbearing and obnoxious. Expats say they can pick out fellow Americans from across a plaza just by the decibel level. And while it's not every American, the stereotype exists for a reason.
Make him move, honey.
Boy, you got a face like a frying pan.
Come on, honey.
I don't think he speaks English. Hey, he moved.
Number 25, consume so much coffee.
Chocolate chip cookie frappe.
See, this one, I understand because I know how big the coffee business is in America, but to me does not count because I look at this with all the respect. This is not coffee. You know, this is a dessert. So if we go consuming real coffee, you know what I mean? Probably Americans still rank very high, but putting all of this stuff, I don't think is fair. Would you guys agree? How many calories is in a thing like this? It's not coffee. You know what I'm trying to say?
For 25, consume so much coffee.
Chocolate chip cookie frappe.
White chocolate mocha.
Light and sweet with caramel.
And it usually takes
I don't know none of those.
more than 1 cup of the pick-me-up
And I
to
love coffee.
satisfy.
In America, coffee isn't just a warm beverage to set a gentle tone for the day. It's a lifestyle, a coping mechanism, a desperately needed stimulant, and sometimes practically a personality trait. While most countries sip modest cups at a cafe, Americans are out here gripping venti cold brews like life preservers on a stormy sea.
Judith, I have a brandy latte for Judith.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a
Well, friends, for me to find the coffee espresso will be that difficult in America because every time I see Americans drinking coffee is this big, big portions. I want something really small. This is how I consume my coffee.
great day.
The coffee-to-go culture is especially
Like that.
baffling to outsiders. Walk through any U.S. city and you'll see people double-fisting caffeine like they're training for a speed-walking marathon. Americans will take it iced, blended, with syrups, oat milk, and motivational quotes on the cup. Other countries might enjoy coffee. Americans mainline it. Number 24, practice helicopter parenting.
It's hysteria, she said.
Helicopter parenting. This one, from what I understand, so I'm making an assumption. Helicopter, always flying around, right? Maybe you guys are always around your kids or something. Protecting him too much.
Today than it has ever been, even as the push to bubble wrap children keeps growing.
When it comes to parenting,
Bubble wrap children. That's the first time I hear that expression. I love that one.
And even as the push to bubble wrap children keeps growing.
When it comes to parenting, the US wasn't always an outlier. The latchkey kid generation of Gen X helped inspire the entire kids on bikes subgenre. But modern American parenting is a different story. In many
Yeah, this surprises me a lot, my friends, because I reacted to some Gen X videos and even boomers, baby boomers, and those generations are so tough, you know, they end up growing in a crazy world, not a crazy world, because America was already an amazing country back then, but the parents let them do whatever they want. But now it's kind of like the opposite. Not saying, of course, it also happens here a bit, but people really say this is a problem in America nowadays.
parts of the world, kids walk to school alone, climb trees, and make their own sandwiches by age 7.
First you do it for them.
So I'm a millennial, and I went to school very early by myself, you know.
Walk to school alone, climb trees, and make their own sandwiches by age 7.
First you do it for them, then you do it with them, then you turn the tables and you watch them do it, and finally they can do it themselves.
In the US, many are strapped into 5-point harnesses, tracked by nanny cams, and kept indoors over fears of potential dangers. The term helicopter parenting was born in America, and for good reason. Many parents hover over their kids constantly, micromanaging their every move. Studies suggest this can hurt long-term development, which might be why children elsewhere often seem more independent and more well-adjusted.
See, this one is something that I struggle because I'm also a new dad. Of course, my kid is still a baby, a bit different. But it's difficult to find a line where you give the kid some freedom, because too much freedom for a kid, I also think is a bit bad. You know what I mean? So you have to find the perfect mix, and that's not easy at all.
It's nice to have someone else that's kind of serves as maybe a secretary mom.
Number 23, use drive-thrus.
55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55 pies, 55 cokes, 100 tater tots, 100 pizzas, 100 tenders, 100 meatballs, 100 coffees, 55 wings, 55 shakes, 55 pancakes, 55 pasta, 55 peppers, and 155 taters.
Wait, okay, see, I know this is a joke because there is no way you can get pancakes in a drive-thru. See, I know you can get burgers. I know you can go to a pharmacy or something, but pancakes, tacos... No, wait, maybe Taco Bell have drive-thru in America. Taco Bell does not have drive-thru here, so... but no way you can get pancakes.
Okay, that'll be $680.
Okay.
In many countries, drive-thrus, if they exist at all, are mostly limited to fast food.
Yeah, that's correct.
In the US,
I was about to say they exist, but basically it's basically that.
Many countries, drive-thrus, if they exist at all, are mostly limited to fast food. In the US, you can stay in your car for just about everything. Coffee, pharmacy pickups, banking, booze, and even a Vegas wedding. Entire
banking. Wait, you can even banking. Wait, but banking is ATM drive-thru or is actually a real bank, you know? Imagine you want to deposit $5,000. Can you do it in a drive-thru?
cities seem to be designed around the system of never having to leave your vehicle.
Some of the most popular fast...
Wait, was that a doctor? Drive-thru? No. Oh my God, my friends, I never know if these Watch Mojo guys are being a bit ironic or not.
Cities seem to be designed around the system of never having to leave your vehicle.
Some of the most popular fast food chains have drive-thrus to thank for strong growth. For instance, Wendy's started adding drive-thru windows in 1971, and restaurant experts credit them as one factor behind Wendy's fast expansion in the years that followed.
Chick-fil-A locations have multiple lanes, traffic cones, and headset-wearing employees that rival airport ground crews. The rise...
My friends, I don't want to, sound a bit crazy ego, but the McDonald's we have here have 2 lanes at drive-thru. How crazy is that?
rise of mega drive-thrus is so intense that some
crazy.
U.S. cities are trying to ban new ones altogether. To many outside the U.S., it's convenience gone overboard. To Americans, it's Tuesday.
We have perfect communication with our customer. We can hear them very clearly as they place the order, making it easier for us to serve them accurately and quickly as well.
Number 22, drive constantly and often go vast distances.
For us, it's get on the road and you don't know what's going to happen.
For much of the world, a
Oh man, to be fair, driving in America sounds awesome.
3-hour drive is a long weekend trip. In the U.S., it might just be your weekday commute. For much of the world, particularly Europe, countries are relatively small and quickly traversed. When foreigners visit the States, they're often blown away by the massive size of the country.
Yep.
I can't wait to get in this. How does this baby handle?
When you combine America's size with its car-first infrastructure, visitors are in for a culture shock. In the U.S., driving often isn't optional, it's expected. Americans will happily drive for hours for a concert, a good meal, or just cheaper gas. Public transportation is sparse, and walkability depends on your zip code. While some
And from what I understand, public transportation is good in big cities, but is almost non-existent in more rural/country areas, right? Is fair to say this?
cities are making changes, the dominant vibe is still very much gas up and go. 21. Spend exorbitantly on college tuition.
You give momentum to this notion of the student as customer when you charge them so much money for their education.
In many countries, college is affordable. Oftentimes, it's even free, seen as an investment in the future wellness of the citizenry and national.
Okay, my friends, when you guys say college is crazy, can someone share, for example, more or less how much debt people tend to have when they leave college? It's like what, $5,000, $10,000? I mean, maybe 20,000 at worst. It's probably not more than that, right? But of course, that's a lot of money for people starting their life. But how much, you know?
National economy. In the U.S., a college degree is often priced like a luxury product. Foreign students are routinely stunned by the cost of American higher education. Tuition alone can run $30,000 to $60,000 a year, not including.
Oh my God, a year. And these what, 3-4 years, right? It is 3 years. So that, oh my God, that can go over 1,000. No, wait, can this be possible actually?
Including housing, books, or emotional damage.
The issue in our country is that we don't fund higher education as if it's a public good, as if it's good for society.
While scholarships exist, the average American student still graduates with tens of thousands of dollars in debt. With increases to the cost of living, many never dig themselves out of that hole. Some international observers have compared U.S. universities to high-end businesses with dorm rooms.
Instead of competing on price, a lot of schools actually learned they could actually charge more, not less, if they could convince their students that they were prestigious.
Number 20. Refer to the USA as America.
Okay, this one is irrelevant, but the last one, my friends, unless I knew my college degree would pay me a lot of money, I would never go to college. Unless I have rich parents, that's quite different, of course. But if I'm from a regular family, and if I know I will be in that over, let's say, could be easy 100,000, right? From what I understand, I would never go to college, honestly. But just my opinion. College here is free. I ended up going to college. I even started a master degree. Did not finish that, but I'm actually thinking about going to the university again. But I have my college degree already. So, but I'm saying free. I mean, it was like, I don't know, 4,000 or something. Nowadays, it's even cheaper than it was on my time. I ended up going to college 15 years ago or something. It's crazy. This one is irrelevant, let's be honest.
Outside of the United States of America, referring to the country as America is much less commonplace.
This is false, by the way. This is totally false. I can guarantee... Okay, maybe people say Estados Unidos. Estados Unidos means United States. But I don't know why I said that in Portuguese. But basically, when we say America, most people relate that with the United States. Not the first time I see videos saying this. I disagree a lot. When we say America, most of the time people will assume is the USA.
After all, there are 2 entire continents called America, comprising like 35 distinct nations. Referring to only one country on one of those continents as America too is really confusing for anyone who doesn't live there.
From this day forward, it's going to be only America first. America first.
Calling it the US, USA, the United States, or just the States is much more common in the rest of the world. Even so, everyone still calls its residents Americans, which isn't confusing at all.
You can't say it, but you know it's true.
Number 19, throw gender reveal parties.
I mean, like I said, I personally think most people, when they say America, they think about America, even outside of America.
Cultures the world over have traditions.
This thing is totally new to me. Throw gender reveal parties. Yeah, I don't understand this.
To prepare expecting parents and celebrate the expected birth of a child.
Thank you so much for throwing me this baby shower, girls. I feel so...
I mean, some people do it, but is this really common in America nowadays?
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Of course!
However, Americans have really taken the concept and run with it. An entire industry has been built around baby showers, as well as their modern relatives' gender reveal parties. Emerging in the 2000s, the latter have become infamous for sometimes absurd levels of showmanship. Some over-the-top reveals have been responsible for injuries and even disasters. They remain somewhat controversial, with many people, including Americans, not really getting why they're often made into such big deals.
I don't know why, but I'm gonna cry.
Oh my gosh, why are you gonna cry?
Because I'm just really happy for you.
You look like it.
You
look like you're happy.
Number 18, experience huge bathroom stall gaps.
Check this way, sir.
Yeah, this one is a bit weird, to be fair, my friends. But some people told me it's not as bad as this type of videos tend to make it. Can someone confirm?
Oh, God.
Every country's restrooms have their own quirks, like different sinks and toilet bowls. The US is known for having a high volume of water in their bowls and large gaps in their bathroom stalls, both under the door and between the door and the walls. Visitors can be taken aback at the lack of privacy. Some hold that they're designed for easy cleaning or construction. Others that it allows one...
To be fair, this gap is kind of crazy, not gonna lie. But, you know, if the gap was bigger here, I think it would be much worse on the sides.
To check which stalls are occupied, although occupancy indicators on the locks can do that too.
Maybe so you can see if there's someone in there.
Isn't that why we have locks on the doors?
Well, as a backup system, in case a lock is broken, you can see if it's taken.
A backup system?
It might also make it more difficult to get up to no good in there. Whatever the case, public bathrooms in the US are built for speed, not comfort.
Would you just sit down and go to the bathroom already?
Number 17, have pharmacies that sell groceries. In most of the world, pharmacies sell exactly what their name implies, pharmaceuticals. While you will see tangentially related items like grooming products or hygienic things like toothbrushes, pharmacies don't usually carry food or toys. But in the US...
Yeah, food, I never saw food in a pharmacy. This one is difficult to believe.
That's much more common. The country is all about the all-in-one experience. Not only will dedicated grocery stores have pharmacies built in, but pharmacies will also carry groceries. Granted, the selection isn't always great, but if you're desperate for milk and the grocery store is closed or you just don't feel like crossing the street to get there, you can get some. While most of the world still limits drug...
Wait, the fact that you can buy milk in a grocery store, should be in a grocery store, but in a pharmacy, this is a good example of something that Americans do and think it's normal. It's impossible. You guys will never find milk unless it's some type of baby formula. You know what I mean? But apart from that, no way.
Drugstores to drugs and self-care products. We have a feeling this one might catch on. Number 16, vote before they can drink. Worldwide, the age at which a person can legally drink alcohol is most commonly 18. The age usually considered to be adulthood. though it is even earlier in some countries. The voting age on a global scale is also generally 18, for similar reasons, although of course there are exceptions.
The Voting Rights Act of 1970 lowered the voting age to 18 for national elections, and the 26th Amendment made the change to 18 permanent for all elections.
And 18 is where it has stayed for the past 50 years.
However, the United States requires young adults to wait 3 years after being able to vote before legally being allowed to drink at 21.
This one I think Americans should play it, honestly. I mean, what I know, it's not my country, right? But it's weird to see 21, 18. And at what age can Americans start legally working? You know, it is 16. But I don't know how it is in America.
This was enacted during the 1980s to prevent alcohol-related driving accidents.
This law has been an abysmal failure. It hasn't reduced or eliminated drinking. It has simply driven it underground, behind closed doors, into the most risky and least manageable of settings.
While it helped in the short term, ultimately it hasn't really stopped teenagers from drinking. The result is that many people, both inside and outside the U.S., question the logic of why an 18-year-old American can decide who forms the government but not get buzzed.
The reality is everyone drinks before they turn 21. That's why when you go out for your first legal drink, you have to react with that faux surprise like you've never heard of alcohol before. Ooh, what does this alcohol taste like?
Shocking.
Oh, it's unusual. Oh, this is true.
Number 15, get free refills.
Again, thank God for America. This is awesome.
The biggest differences between American restaurants and the rest of the world are their drink services. Most American and many Canadian restaurants and other establishments will offer at least one free refill of a non-alcoholic drink.
Refill. Free! Where is it going?
The idea is that because of the low cost of drinks, particularly fountain soft drinks, offering a refill won't hurt the establishment's bottom line, particularly if drinks are not the primary source of income. However, the idea has been slow to catch on in the rest of the world, and it's nowhere near as consistently offered. Some countries...
Now, a lot of fast food places have free refills nowadays, but that's about it.
Countries have raised concern that a practice like this can lead to an increase in obesity. Number 14, tips.
No, I only buy Coca-Cola Zero, so no problem with me.
Service personnel.
All right, everybody cough up some green for the little lady. Come on, throw in a buck.
I don't tip.
You don't tip?
No, I don't believe in it.
While the concept of tipping waitstaff...
This, again, at this point, I know I have to tip. From what I understand, nowadays, is 15%. And if it's good, could be whatever I feel like, right? But 15% tends to be at least 15%, okay? Right, my friends?
For other people in the service industry is known worldwide, few countries have embraced the concept to the degree the U.S. has.
Labor movements declare the practice undemocratic, and anti-tipping legislation was enacted across several states. But restaurants and rail operators, like the Pullman Company, embraced tipping because it allowed them, among other things, to hire recently freed slaves without having to pay them.
Many workers, particularly in the restaurant industry, rely on...
So I saw in the news that the nowadays tips, they don't get any type of tax, right? This is a good thing overall for them.
Gratuities to get by, in part because laws allow managers to pay sub-minimum wages to tipped workers. However, in various other countries, tipping is seen as insulting. They're just doing their jobs, after all.
Each year, Americans spend $40 billion on tips. That's more than we spend on foreign aid and more than we spend on gambling. And like gambling, it's not entirely clear that tipping makes any sense in the first place.
While some countries' workers certainly...
Well, but to be fair, you are putting the money back into the economy, you know. And gambling, a lot of times, the money goes completely out of America. So, you know, if you are helping that person to have a better life, that person will, you know, buy more stuff. So, stupid argument to be fair about the gambling. The A is a bit different, but the gambling, it was a bad argument.
Appreciate it, it isn't expected like it is in the U.S. mostly because employees are paid a high enough baseline salary that they don't need tips to survive.
Restaurant owners still pay their servers less than minimum wage, turning what used to be a bribe into an obligation that makes the end of every meal suck.
Number 13, obsess over the military.
And I think
My friends, I'm European and I'm obsessed with the American military.
The American military.
Watch Mojo is Canadian, right? He's a bunch of Canadians, right, my friends? With all the respect, like I said, they make good videos, but if you are an American, you understand why the American military is so important to a lot of people. Actually, are you guys smelling what I'm smelling? Wait. Oh no. Oh yeah. Smells good on you, John Cena.
The military is probably the best in the world, as it should be, since it's also one of the best funded militaries in the world. In fact, the US spends several...
But you guys see what I'm saying? Is one of the best in the world, as it should be. You know what I mean? It's okay, relax, my friend.
Several times more on their military than their nearest competitor, China. What's more, there are more than a few American citizens who have a higher than average fascination with their own military and its culture.
I thank you as your commander-in-chief because you inspire me. Your willingness to serve, to step forward at a time of war and say, send me, is the reason the United States stays strong and free.
While other countries...
It's kind of crazy that non-Americans talk so much crap about America when it comes to the military, but when things are crazy, they all, oh, you know, the weapons you guys don't use anymore, can you send them to Ukraine? And by the way, I stand with Ukraine. But you guys get what I'm trying to say? It's kind of like they are spitting on the plate that feeds them. My friends, real talk here.
We certainly appreciate their troops. You don't, see as many people wearing camouflage as a legitimate fashion statement. Likewise, you don't see movies made elsewhere that glorify the military to the degree that the US does.
do me a favor. Tell my children I love them very much. All right, you alien assholes. In the words of my generation.
I actually want to see that movie now.
Part of the American enthusiasm is certainly rooted in patriotism. Still, it may also be a reaction to an increasingly anti-military sentiment that has popped up over the last several decades.
No war, okay? No war, okay? Oh, here you go, boys. These will help you protest. It's good to see that you care about peace, boys, okay?
Number 12, use red plastic cups.
So, you know something that you guys told me that I would never forget. I was reacting to a video about the US military and I said, war is bad. And it is, of course. But you guys also told me that, André, war is bad, but not being prepared is even worse. And that one, ended up sticking with me because it's kind of true. And people that say, oh, no war. I mean, yeah, in a perfect world.
Care about peace, boys, okay?
Number 12, use red plastic cups. If you've ever seen an American movie where a college party happens, chances are you've seen characters drinking from red cups.
Come on, dude, right here. Yeah!
These red plastic or solo cups are everywhere in the US. The cheap drinking containers are a favorite at parties, both
red cups here are more expensive than white cups because Europeans tend to believe they are American. I mean, they kind of are because of the culture, right? But I always thought it was a bit stupid to pay more for a color.
For their durability and their ease of use in party games. While they're also handy for crafts or gardening, they're most famous for their intended purpose. However, the rest of the world either doesn't have the United States party culture's emphasis on kegs or lacks the same distinctive cups, originally manufactured by the Solo Cup Company. At most, you might see them at a novelty American-themed party. Number 11, wear shoes inside. Taking off your
Yeah, this is not common here at all.
shoes before you enter a home, or at least in the entryway, is pretty common etiquette in many countries.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Why'd you take your shoes off? So I don't break your nose.
And while many Americans do prefer to keep footwear off their floors, it isn't a hard and fast rule like it is in other places. Often it will depend on whether the person has carpeted floors or hardwood floors, with the latter considered easier to clean. Since it's not considered the norm, though, asking guests to take off their shoes indoors can come across as rude or fussy, and so is often avoided. Number 10. Eat peanut butter as their go-to spread. Peanuts are grown and eaten in many parts of the world.
What do you mean?
It's the United States and Canada that do most of the peanut butter eating.
Peanut butter man now, eh, sir?
See, finally, that makes me like Canada. No, I'm joking. I love Canada. Just speaking because I believe Watch Mojo is Canadian. Let's run this one a bit back.
Is often avoided. Number 10. Eat peanut butter as their go-to spread. Peanuts are grown and eaten in many parts of the world. But
Really?
it's the United States and Canada that do most of the peanut butter eating.
Peanut butter man now, eh, sir?
Yes, I believe I am. I thoroughly enjoy this peanut butter.
A lot of countries see it as a niche or even unpleasant taste.
It's
Others
not.
have a spread that is more culturally ingrained, like
Okay, Nutella is pretty good to be fair, my friends. But since I tried the American peanut butter, Skippy, Jive, Jif, whatever it is, my friends, is so damn good. I'm gonna make a confession. This is a bit embarrassing, but recently I've been picking a spoon and eating peanut butter that way. Am I crazy? Am I alone? Look, if you are American and if you ever did that, leave me a like, because that way I will not feel alone. I love the US peanut butter.
It's a niche or even unpleasant taste. Others have a spread that is more
No, to be fair, I thought it was bad until I tried American.
culturally ingrained, like Nutella. The USA cannot get enough of peanut butter, though, consuming over 1 billion pounds of it annually.
Billion.
January 24th is even National Peanut Butter Day. It's a cheap source of protein that most American children grow up eating, so it's no wonder that it's a comfort food for many of them. Number 9. Work too much.
But even kids nowadays eat the famous PBJ, or is this more some type of comfort sandwich of the past?
Americans are workaholics. At least
This one I cannot comment, but I think it's true in the sense that the American economy is so damn strong that I assume you guys have to work a lot.
compared to
But-
basically every other country in the world. The majority of Americans work more than 40 hours a week.
Why do we do this to ourselves? Well, the conventional
make
answer is
money.
that this attitude towards work makes the American economy the envy of the world. America is a hectic, turbocharged system that builds, destroys, rebuilds, all at warp speed.
They also tend to lack many of the things the rest of the world takes for granted, like paid holidays as well as sick and parental leave. Research has shown that happier, less stressed workers do better at their jobs. Iceland even recently tried a 4-day work week that proved wildly successful.
There's lots of other benefits
I believe also Finland.
to a 4-day working week. It's not just the it's not just the mental health and economy, good for the economy. It's also environmental benefits too. Evidence looks like when we're commuting less as a result of a 4-day week, that brings down.
So this 4-day week thing is also getting some traction here. I mean, it's still in the early stage, but there is some parties on the government talking about this. I don't know if this will be a thing, to be fair, because the impact on the economy would be crazy, at least at the beginning. But again, there is studies that say this could be even better. I don't know for sure. But I also want to be honest with you, my friends. The first time I realized that Americans don't have paid vacation, apart from guns, that was maybe the biggest culture shock I ever had, because having paid vacation seems like an obvious thing to me,
Down emissions, also energy.
So when my wife had our kid, she stayed at home for 5 months and everything was paid, This does not happen in America, right? That is something that, I understand the culture is a bit different, but specific for mothers and vacation, I think the government could improve a bit there. Am I crazy to say this, my friends?
Commuting less as a result of a 4-day week, that brings down emissions. Also, energy consumption goes down. So this is a policy that's win-win for the environment, for workers, for employers. What's not to like about it?
Several European countries take long breaks for lunch. While the American drive is admirable, grind culture becomes problematic when it costs workers their mental health and well-being.
No, but like the video said, is completely admirable. Ooh, that's a difficult word. Admirable. Admirable. You know, I'm proud of you, my friend.
Number 8, make small talk with strangers. Americans are known for their friendliness towards strangers, especially outside of big cities. It's not uncommon for Americans to smile at each other in passing, but their comfort with new people also extends to small talk, saying hello or even striking up a conversation out of the blue.
If you are seated in an emergency exit row,
By the way, one of my favorite movies.
and feel you would be unable or unwilling to perform the duties listed on the safety card, please ask a flight attendant to reseat you.
In many countries, speaking to strangers unprompted can be seen as intrusive or...
You know what, my friends? Brad Pitt gets all the attention, but I thought Edward Norton was one of the best actors of that generation, you know.
even risky. Many Americans are masters of the art, though, often happy to chat with people they've never met about the weather, sports, or whatever else comes up in conversation.
Looks like a carrot, honey.
Who looks like a carrot? Hi.
Number 7, casually own guns. In many countries,
The big one. My friends, I said this multiple times. No matter what other people try to tell you, this is the biggest culture shock of all of them, specific for Europeans, because most Europeans like me never even touch it again. You know, so of course this is a crazy culture shock. Now, when I'm coming to America, do I want to shoot some guns? Hell yeah.
gun laws are strict and gun ownership is relatively rare.
Someone told me that when you are shooting guns, the smoke of the powder smells like freedom also.
In the US, gun ownership is protected by the Second Amendment, and gun ownership is the highest.
The Second Amendment. So I assume the first one is the free expression, you know?
In the world. Despite making up 4% of the global population, Americans own 46% of civilian-held firearms. There's a distinct gun culture where gun ownership is celebrated.
Not free expression, I'm sorry, free speech. Probably, is that the First Amendment? No, I'm not sure. But for sure is one of the amendments.
Or at least seen as important for personal safety. Most states even allow you to open carry.
But it's a lucky thing I had my pieces.
Your pieces?
My guns.
Oh.
Anyway, I started blasting. Bang! Bang!
So, but even if some states allow you to carry guns, do you guys think, for example, I'm actually going to a state that I assume allows that, Texas, right? I mean, if Texas is one of the states that does not allow that, I will close my channel, to be honest with you. Let's assume Texas is one of those states. What are the odds for me to see someone carrying a gun in the street? Very low, right?
Of course, the issue is extremely divisive due to the country's high rate of gun deaths. Either way, the idea of having so many guns around is a novel one for many visitors.
Guns. Lots of guns.
Number 6, put sales tax on everything.
Sales tax is paid when you buy something, and the business you purchased your goods from sends that money to the government.
I love this, honestly. See, if you go to a supermarket here and if says $2, it's already with taxes. But that's a easy way for the government to manipulate you. Because for a lot of people, trust me, my friend, they will go, oh, this was $2. They don't think that it was 20%, actually it's 23% a lot of times went to the government. I wish the person sees the price. $1.50 now pays $2. That automatic will make that person think a bit better when they vote next time. You know what I'm talking about? I like this, honestly. And I feel like this is an unpopular opinion even among Americans, but I like this.
Two types of sales tax: general sales tax and excise taxes. General sales tax is a tax levied on most goods you buy. Excise taxes are taxes levied only on certain items.
Most countries enact a value-added tax, or VAT, on goods or
VAT, yeah.
services purchased within their borders. These taxes are collected from every person in the supply chain, from the distributors to the consumers. The United States is one of the few to use sales tax, which not only vary wildly from state to state, but are only enacted after a purchase has been made.
That's the only thing that is bad. You know, that is different from state to state. From my perspective, of course, not for you. Because if you travel America, you have to know the rate, right?
Treasury depends on sales taxes to pay for road repairs, education, and medical care for children, seniors, and the poor.
They're also not listed in the initial price, which can leave foreign visitors and many Americans scratching their head as to why they're being charged more than the price on the product. Better or worse? You decide. It's certainly more confusing.
What's the advice then? If you're going to buy a big ticket item, where's the cheapest sales tax?
Well, you can go online and look at all the sales tax rates for different cities, and if you look at one dealership or one, Best Buy or something like that, you can find the different zip codes and look at the sales tax rates and just see how much that'll take off, and then take your family out for a nice night.
There you go.
Number 5, recite a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
In many parts of the United States, schools...
My friends, this one I don't understand that well. This means that you'll protect America, that you'll respect the American flag or something. Because let me say something that has been on my mind recently. I was seeing on the news the protests on LA, and I saw some people, burning the American flag. And look, I'm not trying to go I'm not trying to go into politics. I understand immigration is a controversial topic. But to me, you lose all the respect if you do something like that, my friend. I'm going to be honest. If you burn the flag from the country that you are living, no matter if you are American or Mexican, for me it's the same thing. That's disgusting. I mean, sorry, my friends, if you disagree, that's fine. I'm just sharing with you what I feel. If you burn the American flag, that's disgusting.
School children and adults in some settings
because I saw
sorry,
I have to add some context to this, I guess, because I saw a lot of people burning the American flag and flying the Mexican flag, for example. And Mexico is probably a great country and you should be proud of Mexico, but don't mess with the beautiful flag,
The United States.
Sorry, I called the beautiful flag. It's beautiful, the USA flag.
School children and adults in some settings are expected to recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Back then, in 1892, when it was written by Francis Bellamy...
My friend, sorry, but I know I went into a sensitive topic. Did I say something that ended up offending you, my friends? Because I honestly don't understand... But I said what I believe. If you disagree with me, feel free to leave me a comment, my friend. If you agree, you can also leave me a comment, leave me a like, whatever you feel like. But sorry, I didn't like to saw that.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Back then, in 1892, when it was written by Francis Bellamy, Bellamy was a Baptist minister, and in conjunction with a magazine called The Youth's Companion, he wrote this, at that time, 23-word Pledge of Allegiance.
This is an expression that they will be loyal to the USA, and is usually...
You know what's crazy? I'm mad, because that image stuck with me. I even saw a clip of a guy that I don't even know the name saying that there is nothing to be proud about the American flag, that's why burning is okay. I was like, dude, the fact that you are in America in a riot shows to you how great America is. In a lot of countries, you will not even try to do that in Russia. It will be impossible. It's so crazy, It's like the fish that is inside of the aquarium, but thinks that the guy is outside. No, you are already living in the best place for you.
Performed daily while looking at the nation's flag, which you will find hanging everywhere, by the way. This isn't something other countries do. They might salute or respect their flag and country, but to make school children recite an oath to the country? The pledge has been the subject of plenty of controversy within the US too, particularly since it mentions God. While some schools no longer require it, it remains a widespread practice.
Bottom line.
See, here I'm not going to share my perspective because this is a completely different thing. What I was talking is something that it's really bad. This one, I don't know, my friends. I have to be honest, the Pledge of Allegiance, right, is something that I don't even understand that well. So maybe this is okay to have in schools. Maybe you guys have good reasons to not. I cannot provide a perspective here. So I don't know, my friends.
Mine is we all look different, sound different, but we are all on the same team.
Number 4, watch ads for prescription drugs.
Yeah, this one is crazy.
Aside from New Zealand, the United States is the only country in the world that advertises prescription drugs directly to consumers. Every day, Americans are bombarded with ads for prescription medications, featuring generic, pleasing imagery and a list of side effects longer than a flagpole.
Side effects may include upper respiratory infection, stuffy or runny nose, and sore throat and headache.
Many people, Americans included, are baffled by the practice, as doctors and not patients are meant to decide what drugs to prescribe. Proponents claim that advertising increases competition.
So, you know what's crazy, my friends? I'm going to share something with you that I got an offer to promote a lawyer's company. I don't think I'm not, most likely, to be fair, I'm not going to accept that because I don't know, my friends. I thought it was a bit scammy. I have to be fair here. But they tried to pay me a decent amount of money. It was like lawyers ads, but that's also a thing in America, right? I actually have been getting offers to promote a lot of products. Some of them, I have to be honest, the quality seems very bad. So far, I end up rejecting everything because, look, I'm okay with the money that YouTube pays me, and even if I could make quite more, because I could, at the end of the day, not, let's say, look, I am aware, even if I do an ad, most people will not care about the ad. But even if one person goes into that product and that product is a shitty product, you know what I mean, is not worth it.
And lowers drug costs. Meanwhile, prescription drugs are typically far more expensive in the United States, as the U.S. doesn't regulate or negotiate drug prices. Number 3, put months before days. Most of humanity marks calendar dates as being day first.
This one is probably one of the most problematic because for a long time, I in my normal job, I also have to speak English from time to time. And sometimes when I write, I have to do it this way. And I always have to think, okay, 31. Okay, no. It's the month first. It's kind of crazy.
Then month, then year.
It's the date. Assuming the first two numbers are some big old space date, then you've got year, month, day. It's the other way around like it is in America.
Oh! Or else.
But you know what's crazy? When I say 1st of January, back in the day, that sounded great in my mind. Now it does not. January 1st sounds much better.
The opposite as year, month, then day. The reasoning is that you can go from the shortest value to the longest or vice versa. Yet the United States and parts of Canada eschew both these formats by putting the month first, then day, then year. The US has been using this format basically since its founding, although it has used the day first format interchangeably too. The exact reason why is debatable, but as far as practicality goes, it can be useful when filling out forms to know which month it is before which day or year.
Really?
Number 2, go bankrupt from healthcare. Medical costs are the cause of over 60% of all bankruptcies in the United States.
In 2017, 1/3 of the money raised on GoFundMe went towards medical campaigns. And the site raises $650 million a year for more than 250,000 medical campaigns.
Americans experience a variety of unexpected charges while getting much-needed care, from surprise bills to being charged for riding in an ambulance.
According to one...
See, this is one of the things that scares me a bit because on my trip to America, I'm going to make insurance, of course, but I'm still afraid of getting sick in the US. Of course, most likely this will not happen. I'm young, my wife is also young, so we should be fine. But imagine, we get, of course, I hope not. Imagine that I have some type of problem with the car, I'm into a car crash or something, and I need to go to the hospital. I don't want to go broke in America. You know what I mean?
One study, 71% of all ambulance providers do not take the patient's insurance. That same study found that 79%...
See, that's the scary part.
...of patients who took an ambulance could get a surprise bill, with an average total around $450.
In some parts of the...
Okay, I thought it was worst, to be fair. Because when you say go bankrupt, you know what I mean? You think, thousands and thousands. But I think I should be fine, honestly.
Civilized world.
Here, my friends, again, there will be a smart hand in the comment saying, you pay a lot of taxes. It's true. But here, this is totally free.
Average total around $450.
In some parts of the civilized world.
But don't think that free healthcare is perfect. It's not, my friends, because since it's free, a lot of people use that. And for example, if you want to see an expert and you are not dying, basically, sometimes you wait 2 years, 3 years. It's kind of crazy. Most people go to the private system and fix the problem that way. So it is what it is. But for example, if you have cancer or something, going through the free healthcare system is actually awesome, knowing the situation you are in. But yeah, I mean, there is good things and bad things.
Even seeing a medical bill can be an
If you guys want to start, I believe right now around 50% of 50% of Portuguese people have insurance, and you can say, why? You guys have free healthcare. Because we need insurance to go to the private system when the free healthcare system is not working that well. And I think this happens in a lot of countries, not just here.
$50.
In some parts of the civilized world, even seeing a medical bill can be an uncommon occurrence. Healthcare worldwide tends to be much more regulated than it is in the US. It's either funded through taxes in a single-payer system or else through individual insurers who are more strictly monitored.
From what I understand, one of the biggest problems is insurance companies, at least here, they are that way, but I also assume it's the same in America. They are a bit of... it's a shady business, you know.
Countries, they don't have this problem. Instead of every private insurance company negotiating with every healthcare provider, there's just this big list. Country, the central government, they go and they say, if you want to sell to us, to all of our people, then here's what you can charge for a checkup. Here's what you can charge for an MRI or a prescription for Lipitor.
Bottom line, while there can sometimes be extra charges, for most of the world, medical debt is basically unheard of, except in horror stories about the US.
Can't get a credit card. I can't buy a house. I don't see me ever being out of debt.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel
Good
and
for
ring
me,
the
my
bell
friends.
to get notified about our latest videos.
Leave a like
You have
also.
the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and...
You know what, my friends? I never promote my Instagram and my Facebook. There is 2 links below if you want to join my Instagram or my Facebook. That's it.
and switch on notifications. Number 1, use the imperial measurement system.
Can you explain to me?
From all the things, this is the number 1. I disagree.
Yes. How the country that can send men and hopefully women to the moon.
Yeah, all and beyond.
Still are in gallons and inches. And when the entire world is metric, I do not understand this.
There are 3 countries in the world that don't use the metric system: Myanmar, Liberia, and the United States.
That's
Objectively,
crazy.
metric is the less arbitrary measurement system since everything goes by tens. Even Britain and Commonwealth countries have converted.
The point is, the US system has always been a little more accessible than metric. Sure, stacking up 12 thumb widths to make a foot, that's still kind of weird, but it's not so weird that we're clamoring to change it.
Although admittedly, they do still use measurements like feet and inches casually.
So now I can't ask a distance when I visit another country. I'm like, how far is that? They're like, that's 500 kilometers. I'm not in the Olympics.
So why hasn't the US converted? We'll give you one guess. Did you say it's because of money? Because money is definitely a big factor. Converting to a whole new system of measurement is expensive. Other factors include a need for control and stability of the US. So, inertia, basically. Why change when you don't need to? And you know what your mom says? If all the other countries jumped off a bridge, would the US do it too? Or something like that.
No.
A 2015 Rasmussen poll asked Americans if we should switch to the metric system and adopt Celsius as our main temperature scale. 64% said no.
Yeah, the Fahrenheit versus Celsius is one that gets me a lot of times because I have to make that conversion so many times for videos. But if most Americans don't care about this, that's totally fine.
No, while 21% said yes, and the remaining 15% was undecided. So it looks like we're perfectly fine with being different.
Perfect.
Is there anything more American than arguing over what is and isn't American?
What the hell is this? 10 worst decisions America ever made. Iraq. Okay, that's a controversial one. Well, friends, thank you so much for watching this with me. Really means a lot. I had a tremendous time. A lot of the things here I was already aware, but there is a lot that can bring interesting debate. So, see you guys in the next one. Bye, my friends.